Hey, it's Tess, content creator, model, presenter, and host of the Tess Talks podcast, on a mission to ignite curiosity. I had no idea that Feng Shui will literally change your life. From money manifestation to career success, health problems, and even divorces. Your home can be dictating so much of your life without you even realizing. This episode legitimately blew my mind. This conversation with Kelly is packed with so much insight into how Feng Shui influences your energy and can bring more flow and harmony into your life. You are going to want to take notes for this one, so let's get curious. Just a quick heads up before we dive in, we had a few issues with the audio on this one. You might need to turn up the volume just a little bit, but I promise you it's so worth it. I wish I found you before we designed our house, because I was adamantly saying to Sean and our architects, we need a Feng Shui expert to look over all of our floor plans and everything.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, it'd be fine. I was like, no, you don't understand how important it is.
Right. I don't know, you just have to wait and see. You always look at it and say, I can look at it now and go, hey, this bedroom's better in order than this bedroom, or whatever it might be,
Yes.
or sit on this side of the living room is better than the other side of the living room. But, ideally, you do it. It's much easier to move on a grey lead line than it is going,
oh, totally. People just be calling out bad birdies. Like, guys, can we pull to this wall down? I don't like this mirror here.
No. But you don't really have it naturally in mirrors. Any mirrors for the
I'm actually waiting on some more to arrive.
Yeah. You just don't want it looking, which you won't have. You just don't want to, because you're looking at the floor when you come in, which is good feng shui. People think it's bad.
Oh, yeah.
But it's actually good to be able to see the back door from the front.
Oh, really? Why is that? Because it creates open.
It's just like an energy. So ideally you want to cross so that the churches have excellent feng shui.
Oh,
yeah.
Interesting. Okay, let's get into all the tips.
Sorry.
I want to get into all of it. It's hard not to jump the gun. But someone listening is like, what the hell is Feng Shui?
Yes.
What is it?
Feng Shui literally means wind and water. And the first book written about Feng Shui is called The Book of Burial. Yeah. And it was written in 250 AD. And the Chinese believe if you're buried in an auspicious location, your next life and your offspring's life, children's life will be auspicious. They'll have a great life. Yeah. So Feng Shui originally all started about burial sites.
Yeah. What if you're cremated?
You're still going to go in the same spot. So yeah, it'll still. So ideally, we want our house away from the wind, but looking at water, because the Chinese believe that water represents wealth. Oh. So you think we would like a house with a bit of a mountain behind us, facing water. Now we live in an urban lifestyle. Most of us, water can also be a road now. It's where there's movement, activity.
Right. Okay. So each thing holds a certain kind of meaning, and it's about aligning your house with the appropriate positioning and meaning.
And not all of us live with a mountain behind us. So we can mock that with a neighbouring property, garden design, that sort of thing.
So is Feng Shui isolated to property, or does it expand further than that?
We look at the feng shui of, say, Melbourne. We can look at the feng shui of a country. We can look at so it's also very macro as well as micro. So we look at a house as one, state, the suburb, the whole lot.
Fascinating. I feel like it's the kind of thing that I always talk about energy, and it's when say someone is behind you and they're staring at you and you don't know they're there, but you can feel the sensation.
Yes.
I feel like it's almost a similar energy, when you walk into a room, and some rooms feel so inviting and open and warm, and then others you walk into and you just don't feel that comfortable, or they don't have the good layout. And this, I guess, elaborates, it goes deeper to just furniture placement or structure of walls.
100%. And I've worked with a number of architects. I get a phone call probably once a month from someone who's just spent X amount on a renovation, and on paper it looked beautiful. The 3D drawings of the house looked amazing, and then they've moved in and they hate it. It doesn't feel right. Why? I wish I had called you beforehand. What's going on? And it just, the energy's off.
Fascinating. Okay, so how did you first fall into this field? Obviously, quite a niche. Obviously, it originates from Asian tradition, heritage. Yes. How did you find yourself stepping into this field?
So I started selling real estate when I was 19 years old, and I saw history repeat itself in a number of houses. Yeah. So whether it be Kelly, can you come and sell the house? We've separated. I'd sell that house to you so they get the same phone call. New owners also had separated.
Oh my God.
There's a house in St Kilda West that I sold twice over. Both owners ended up with cancer. Kelly, can you sell the house before the bank comes and takes over? I had that in a number of houses as well. So I had thinking, what is going on here? Something really amiss. And it was funny that I was working at Hocking Stewart Albert Park at the time. I just listed one of the listings for the block. And it was the second season, so it was like the best show to watch.
Yeah.
I was doing really, really well with my career. And I came across this magazine about Feng Shui when I was waiting for a sandwich to get made for me. And I was thinking, oh, my God, this is really interesting. I need to learn more about this. So I inquired, and there's a school here in Victoria, the Australian College of Environmental Studies, and they have a Feng Shui course. So I inquired about it in classes for 2 years, every Friday, Saturday and Sunday, which is not ideal for a real estate agent.
No.
So I quit. I quit real estate.
Oh,
and I remember when I told my mum and dad, my dad looked at my mum and said, has Kelly joined a cult? What is going on here? You can't just quit. You have a mortgage. You have car repayment. You don't have another job. What are you going to do? And I don't know. I look back and I think, what was I thinking? But it was just, I had to go. So I quit and went and studied Feng Shui. And I actually, it was 2 years, but I actually went up to Sydney as well and did the course in a year just to get it over and done with. I loved it. And I'm not really a studier. It's not my thing. Yeah, some people love to study. Yeah, my thing. But this Feng Shui, I couldn't get enough of it. Saturday night I'd be home with my dog, my cat, reading about Feng Shui.
Wow.
So
it's like your dharma, your intuition, like really stepping through, like calling you to do this.
Do it. And I look now and think it is super niche, but I'm so lucky that I found it when I did because I love it. It's really, you can make a real impact in people's lives. I was at a house the other day and they had a 2-year-old child who had the jaw wouldn't work. The child had some serious health issues. And we looked at the chart and I pinpointed what was causing these health issues in the house.
Wow.
So it's just things like moving the fridge. Don't use that air conditioner. Don't use this door. And things will improve for those people 100%. She's trying to get pregnant with another child. I'm like, we can't use it. There's remedies for most things.
So this is blowing my mind because I didn't really realize that it correlates to so many different aspects of your life, like from health to relationship with your partner.
To wealth as well.
Wealth.
Yeah.
Like how is it translating to all these different elements?
Sure. So there's a number of different Feng Shui schools or forms, formulas if you like. I look at the form. So is the house, is it well presented? Is it neat? Is it clean? Is it tidy? Are the windows clean? Just, do you walk past the house and think, that's a nice looking house, or can you see the rubbish bins and everyone's shoes at the front door?
I actually thought that as soon as I opened the door to you. I was down, I was like, shit. It was the first thing I saw on Instagram. There's shoes everywhere.
But, you don't forget whether you live like Miss Piggy or you live in a clean, well-maintained home.
Yeah.
That's the first one, which is form for me overrides everything. Then we look at the flying stars, which is classically trained Feng Shui practitioners that always look at this. It's where the wealth sector is. It's where the good sector for health is. All these sort of things. Where's the argument and conflict sector? Where's the unhealthy spot? So we look at every house has an unhealthy sector. So ideally we want that in the formal dining room or the formal sitting room where we don't spend long periods of time.
Right. So what would constitute something that's unhealthy?
So we get a compass direction. So I've got a low pen, which is the Chinese compass that tells me, okay, my house faces north, but it's 356 degrees north. And then when was the house built? Has there been any extensions or renovations happen? And from there we get a mathematical chart of the home.
It's almost like astrology,
a little bit. Yeah, it's astrology for the house.
Wow.
Yeah. So then that tells me where everything is and what does it all mean.
So there's a real formulation behind it. It's not just
it's maths. It's mathematical. Yeah.
Wow.
So that's one. And then the other formula I use, which is really powerful for health, is San Yuan Yuan Gua. And that is where it's activated. So where's the fridge? Where's the doors? Where's the shower drains? Where's the basin drains? And they all activate different things.
Oh, okay. So can you walk us through what some of them would mean? So fridge, for example.
Well, depending on which sector is in the house. So it could be, related to a certain animal that's in your astrology. So do you know what year you were born?
1994. I think I'm year of the dog.
So if your dog, for example, is out of luck in its house and they've got the fridge in it, you have the health issues related to the dog.
What do you mean by out of luck?
So if we look at a pie chart, every third sector is, or pull out of luck. And then if there's something activating in that sector, it relates to an animal.
Okay.
And if someone is that animal in the house, then that health element is likely to pop up in the client's life.
Fascinating. So it's not just like don't have the fridge facing the window.
No,
that's going to, it's very to the mathematical
of the
equation
house.
for you.
Yes.
Right. And
But if your flying star chart, say for example, you're sleeping in number 5, which is really bad, which is bad for health, bad for relationships, bad for money. If you're sleeping in that, you'll have constant health problems.
Oh my God, I wanted to map my house.
So yeah, it's really, really interesting. It tells a really big story. I went to someone's house and that lady that dated the little girl, I didn't know what was wrong with the little girl. And I said, this relates to the mouth, the jaw. She said, this is all the issues my daughter has.
Wow. So for example, when you're working in real estate really early on and you saw couples that were divorcing after years, what were the signs that you were seeing in those houses?
Well, they were sleeping most likely in an arguments and conflict zone. Yeah. Or something with, ill health, because if you're ill, everything's difficult,
Oh my God, so there's so many factors that could be working against us without us even knowing.
Yeah, but I feel like, but look, in Feng Shui, that represents 33.3% of your luck, your environment, your Feng Shui.
Yeah.
Then we look at the other 33.3% is your man luck. Are you a good person? Do you donate blood? Do you donate to charities? Do you let the person who's trying to get into traffic in front of you? Are you what do you do day to day?
Yeah.
And the other 33.3% is your heaven luck, your astrology. So you could be in a good luck cycle with your astrology. Your Feng Shui could be cactus, but you're getting through it because your astrology is okay. But then when you go into a challenging cycle in your astrology and your Feng Shui is no good, that's when people come into trouble.
Fascinating.
So I'll still look at your astrology as well. We think, okay, are you in a good luck cycle or a not so good luck? I know my husband next year is he's in a challenging cycle.
Through his astrology chart.
Through his astrology chart. He's got rivals coming for him. And we're about to start a renovation next year. So I can see exactly what's going to happen. He's going to take his eye off the ball with his business because he's going to be looking at the renovation and competitors will come for his business.
So then he's got to make sure to be really nice to people so that his man luck stays
off
strong.
The dentist for him and donating blood once a month.
Yeah. But that's like karma, isn't it?
It's the yin and the yang. It's just,
Wow, that gives so much awareness because I think I've only ever looked at these things as isolated.
And unfortunately with Feng Shui, it has been given a really bad rap. My house does not look like a Chinese restaurant. I do not have a kitty waving its hand. We do not have gold coins hanging from somewhere. Yeah. I do not have, it's just, they're trinkets. They're not classical Feng Shui.
Yeah, it's so true.
And I think, unfortunately, people have gone and put red ribbons around their taps thinking it's going to bring them money. It's absolute rubbish.
I guess you're kind of bringing in the modernized Feng Shui.
Yes, but going back to the classical.
Yeah. Yeah. Classic principles.
The classic Feng Shui, yeah.
And I guess if you have all of those 3 lucks in optimal condition, does that mean that you're just going to be living your best life?
100%. You're in flow. It's just you meet the right people at the right time. Things just happen. You're not hustling. You're not, it's just easy. Life is easy.
Yeah, in flow and harmony, things come to you, attract. It's almost like the law of attraction and the power of abundance is when everything's aligned. This is opening my mind to how you can incorporate all these different modalities into that.
That's right.
Rather than just the manic manifestations.
That's right. I know. And I think we can get a bit crazy with the manic manifestations because when you're desperate, it's a desperate energy. It's never going to work.
No. Yeah, you're almost attracting that exact desperation and the opposite to what you want.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you're working with the client, what would be the first key principles that you would look at or talk to them about?
So I would look at their chart. So I'd do the Feng Shui formula, the 9 stars and the ascending when you inquire and see what is the concern and if there's anything we can negate with that. The powder room loo is no good. Avoid using that loo, for example. There'll be a number of things that the perfect house or the perfect person doesn't exist. But if we know what could be triggering issues, finding the heart of your home. So if we mapped out, say, the ground floor here and we squared it off and did a cross and found the heart of the home. Now, your heart of your home is open, which is ideal. But often people have a powder room in there or they have a pantry. People who have a trapped heart of their home often have digestive issues.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah. So you don't want the heart of the home trapped. You want it open. Like your house, you can see the back door from the front door. That's often a misconception. That's very bad feng shui. If I was designing your house, I'd say let's see the front door and the back door. We want them in a line. We ideally want to cross. Churches have great feng shui.
Fascinating.
Yeah.
So would that only be relevant to, say, like walls that are like blocking it, or can furniture placement be blocking the heart of the home?
No, it would be because you can still get energy above the furniture. So
Okay.
it would be walls blocking. Yeah.
So what about the fact that we have a powder room like at our entrance, because it's not in the heart?
No, but it's hidden. It's like it's not not an issue.
What about glass? Because I feel like glass would allow like energies to like come through. Is there something specific with glass and glass placement?
Not so much glass, but we look at if we can activate, say, for example, something is in, you, for example, the ear of the dog. If it's in wild, we would want windows there so we can activate that energy for you to support you. So
what if your partner and you have like conflicting animal signs? Does that happen?
For sure it happens. And you can say, all right, well, we can see next year, for example, it's going to be the year of the horse. It could be a fiery year for you and your husband. Suck it up, sweets. It's going to be,
like divorce isn't imminent, just like ride through
it. Yeah. Everyone goes through this in their life, Everyone has shitty moments. So it's like,
it's empowering.
Yeah, you just know exactly. Like it's like I said earlier for my husband Tom. We know that next year's going to be challenging for him, so we're buckling up. We're making sure he's staffed. We've got the right staff in place. That sort of thing.
So you touched before on money manifestation. So what are some key things that you would look at in the house that correlate to finances?
For me, for manifesting, I find the prime spot for manifesting. For myself, I've had it happen a number of times, is whatever the artwork you have behind your bed head will manifest. So I've manifested a husband, a couple of kids, a beach house. So it's interesting, you go to someone's house and you see the artwork that's behind their bed head. You'll say, is this what's playing out in your life?
Interesting. Yeah, because I saw that Instagram snippet you said, where if you're a single person, you go to
and have a
spend the night with someone.
Yeah, go and check out what's behind their
bed. Yeah. So if it's another like singular person there, like it's not a good sign.
They're quite happy there on their own. But I often get called into women's houses who are single, and you go to the house and they have all these single nude images all around the place, because it's very on trend. But that's what they're manifesting, a single life.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually kind of groundbreaking.
Thanks.
I'm going to go and but can I be sticking my vision board above my bed head?
I think it's too much. I think just pick the one thing that you really love and pop that. And I change mine over all the time.
Yeah. Interesting.
Yeah.
That's a great hack because we actually haven't put any artwork behind our bed head yet. So does that mean we're manifesting nothing?
Well, I think you're doing okay.
Yeah.
But I think if you could find something that you really wanted to manifest, like say you decide you want to have another child, you might put an image of 4 things behind your bed. I met a girlfriend who was going through IVF and had a number of failed IVF attempts, and she has 3 children at the moment. So she literally drew 6 figures, and she drew the 6 of them with that, and she blue tacked behind her bed. Anyway, she just had a baby.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah. I'm going to go and draw some twins.
Don't do that to yourself. Oh, God.
I don't know why I'm so obsessed with the idea of having twins. Would be partly torture for a period of time.
Yeah. The rest of your life, I think.
Yeah. Careful what we wish for, eh? Careful what we manifest.
Very much so.
That's so interesting. And what about, I heard you say something about the front door and how that can also correlate to finances. Is there?
Sure, your front door is like the mouth of your home. So it needs to be in good order. You often have people's houses and they've got fly-by screen, it's got holes and it's got cobwebs on it. It looks untidy. The shoes at the front door, it's a mess. It's a dead pot plant that someone's had good intentions and never looked after it. So first impressions count, and your front door is the first impression for your house and your feng shui. So it really needs to be looking primo.
So is the exterior of the home as important as the interior?
For me, I always want my house to be the best looking house in the street because Qi, which is energy. So the name of the feng shui game is getting as much Qi as energy into your house as possible. So you want the person walking their dog along the street looks at your house and thinks, oh, I'd love to see what's in Tessa's house. Look at it, looks beautiful. So you're getting their energy. So Qi will do the same thing as what you do. So the name of the game is get the Qi in the house for as long as possible, the good Qi. And you'll get that from having a well-presented maintained house.
So do you think there's any like rituals that help the chi, like saging, and some clearing, like get you into that kind of stuff as well?
I do what I think of land healing, which is not Feng Shui. It's using different crystal essences, animal essences, and it's like sticking a block of dynamite under the house and giving a good clear out. It's actually a really good thing to do if you renovate, because you've got everyone's energy in your house. All these builders, all these tradespeople, you know, everyone's cracked it at some point during the renovation process. So it's like clearing out everyone's energy.
Yeah.
But the sage stick, I feel like it's a little bit more like a ritual. I don't know whether it's going to really do all that much, but it'll make you feel better by doing it.
Yeah.
You know, it's that sort of
thing. Kind of cleansing.
Yeah.
I actually know that there was a cafe in Melbourne that the owner was telling me that they actually built it on a bed of crystals because they wanted, I think it was rose quartz, but they wanted the whole, because it was also a wellness centre, but they wanted the whole energy. It would have cost an absolute bomb, but.
Is the cafe doing well?
Well, it's actually closed now.
Yeah. You really did look at the Feng Shui, because you often see businesses, without looking at it, I suppose a rule of thumb is if you can have the front door in the middle of the store, not to the side. This is the problem with, when I look at single front houses as well versus double front houses, because if your front door is smack bang in the middle of your house, you've got your front door we call in luck. Whereas if it's off to the side, there's a chance it's going to be out of luck. Yeah, so you often see shop fronts which I understand why the fitters do it. So you've got more of a big window space to put your objects you're trying to sell. But you're better off having it at the front door because your Feng Shui will be better.
That makes so much sense. Yeah. We're really lucky because we had a double-fronted driveway, which you actually can't do anymore in our area. We're only allowed to keep it because the previous property had it. But I feel like that creates a really nice harmony of having like two driveways meeting in the middle, and then our front door is somewhat in the middle.
Yes. Yeah, I think you'd be right.
Yeah. What about mirror placement? Because I feel like this is something. So actually, I don't know if you noticed that when I lie on my side of the bed, so we have like two arches in front of our bed, and one of them leads into the walk-in room, and that's where the mirror is, where that little seating area is that you commented on.
Yes.
And if I don't close those curtains at night, I feel really weird having a mirror that I can like see. It's kind of like at the end of my feet, like it's to the side of it, but I can
still see stuff. It's close the curtains, because we don't like mirrors in bedrooms because they activate energy. So a bedroom should be very yin in its energy. So no plants.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they activate energy. Now, if you've got plants in your bedroom and you sleep well, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah, because it was actually our mutual friend, David, who said to me about mirrors in the bedroom also can bring in like dark entities into your dreams and things like that.
It's like he says it's a portal for spirits. So, yes, I think mirrors should be reflecting back something beautiful. So they should be reflecting back the garden. They should be reflecting back the dining table where you have a fresh bunch of flowers. They shouldn't be reflecting back a blank wall. They shouldn't be, the mirror, you should be able to see yourself in it, not have a mirror, above a fireplace that no one can see. So I think mirrors are important because they amplify the energy.
What about mirrors above the bed? You know, when you go to those weird hotels and there's like a mirror on the ceiling.
What's going on?
Oh wasn't my choice. Just noticed it one time. I'm sorry, I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know about that either. But yeah, they're amplifying the energy.
Yeah. That's so funny. I saw you spoke about the death position. What is that when you go to bed at night?
Yeah, it's a bit of a Feng Shui myth, if you like. It's called the cadaver position. So if you imagine if you were to die in bed, we don't want your feet facing the door. So it's effectively, you die in bed, someone can pull you by the ankles and take you out the house. I've slept in this position before and never had any issues with sleeping like that, but some people do. And the easy fix is just shut the bedroom door. If your bed is in that placement, you don't sleep well.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting, because I feel like back in my old house, if I ever had like sleep paralysis, I would like have like visions like that. Like you imagine like someone like pulling you or like trapping you or freaks me out.
Like you're not in that house anymore.
Yeah, no. Long gone. Are there any other like simple hacks that people can like implement in their house today that you would recommend?
I would make sure that your stove is always clean because the stove relates back to wealth again. And your ability to make wealth, to create your own wealth. So make sure we all have that favorite burner on the stove as well. We should be using all the burners, not just the one. So that's important too. But make sure your stove is clean. You know, it works.
Mm.
And just really, you know, keep your house as clean as you possibly can.
Yeah.
Because that's how you bring in good feng shui. Because even if, say, for example, your kitchen relates to arguments and conflicts, if you have it crystal clean and there's no, you know, last night's dishes aren't sitting there and, you know, paperwork, it's a mess, you're more likely to override that negative energy if it's that has good form. So the real troublesome stuff happens when the form is off. It's not good. You live like Miss Piggy.
Well, it makes sense because they say that like your brain just functions better and you have more clarity when your house is cleaner. Like that's just almost common sense. Like we know that
for sure.
Just we don't always do it.
No, well, I know my house. We have a housekeeper come once a fortnight, and I know that morning she's coming. Everything, you know, my kids are pretty good, but that house gets everything goes back to where it should be.
Yeah.
Before she gets there, you know, it's
the best feeling.
It's the best feeling. You're like, oh, I wouldn't do this, but you know,
and then 24 hours later,
it's pretty tight ship, but it's still, you know, it's just that moment before the housekeeper comes and everything gets put back to where it should be.
What about color in the house? Obviously, you can tell we're like a pretty neutral in this house.
Yes, yeah.
But how do you feel like color comes into play with feng shui?
I think your house should reflect who you are. So what you need to look at your house and love it. So no two houses will ever be the same because everyone's energy, personalities are different. So I think you have to, if you come home and you love your house, you're in the right spot. If you come home and think, really don't want to be here, or I'd rather be back at the office, or I'd rather be at Chadstone, or I'd rather be anywhere, then we've got problems.
Yeah.
And I've lived in a house like that. I lived in a house in Middle Park and it was pretty much a glass box, and I hated that house because it had too much glass. It was too yang. It was like I had ants in my pants. I just couldn't sit still in that house. Whereas you think of a nice brick, double-fronted house that feels safe and secure, you know, it can hold the energy, whereas often glass boxes can't hold energy.
But I guess it would be somewhat subjective too, right? Like some people would love that feel of like
for sure
open glass, like not feeling restricted in
walls. If you're like a really
walls
arty sort of person and then really go with the flow, and but most people, like kids have an innate ability about feng shui, because what do kids love doing? They love making cubby houses. If I let my kids pull their doonas off their beds, I'll put it over the coffee table, under they go. They love it. They like to feel safe and secure. And unfortunately, those glass box houses don't feel safe and secure.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Yeah. I actually remember seeing though on your Instagram that you shared that the color red is not ideal in a kitchen.
That's correct.
Why is that?
Because in the kitchen we use fire to cook.
Yeah.
So we use the gas. And even if you have an induction cooktop, the stove and the oven are still seen as the fire element in feng shui. So we've got this fire, and then you go and put red, which is the color of fire, in with real fire. Chances are there's going to be fire. And this year is
fascinating.
Yeah, is a wood energy, and next year is a fire energy. So it's going to be even more potent next year. So with this whole fire energy, so I don't know if you've noticed how many airplanes have been falling out of the sky.
Yeah,
that all relates to fire.
Oh wow!
How many wildfires there's been? It's all that. So next year it'll be even more so. So it's a real I don't know. I know a number of people who know of someone whose house was burnt down this year.
Yeah,
they've left a candle on the house is burnt down.
I mean, look at Los Angeles, like
next level.
Insane.
So and next year will be worse.
Wow.
So we really want to be careful. The color red is not great in the kitchen. Thank God the red splashback has been and gone.
Yeah,
but
get rid of all those Smeg red products.
Yeah, the red products. Yeah, you can it's fun to pull them out and use them, but don't have them sitting there on show.
Okay, so just not on display. Yeah. So does fireplaces come into that as well, or?
No, because you don't really have a fireplace in the kitchen, but we look at the energy of a fireplace in someone's chart when we look at their flying stars as well.
But we shouldn't be like avoiding fireplaces because it's the year of the fire.
Don't go, but you'd make sure that you wouldn't leave a fireplace alight and leave the house.
Yeah.
In the current time period.
Yeah. Be extra cautious. Candles, like all the things.
Yeah. And the other thing with fireplaces, I don't like to see family photos on fireplaces.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's seen to burn out the people that are on above the fireplace.
Oh, interesting. Yeah. Oh, so if you're feeling burnt out, maybe it's because you've placed a photo of yourself on your fireplace.
Yeah. And if you've got a fireplace that doesn't work, it's fine. But if you use the fireplace, hang an image of
Same with like gas fireplaces, like electric, all the same.
Still the same because it's still that fire element. It still looks and feels like fire. Yeah.
Are there any things that you look at in a house that give you signs that like it's energetically stuck, like things can't move?
Sure. Clutter is the biggest feng shui no I see in people's homes, and it's hard to let go. My husband, if I could let him keep everything, he would, and you just can't. You've got to let things go. You've got to move on. You can't keep everything all the time.
Hoarding's not great. Sean has a bit of a go at me about a few things like that.
Yeah. So you just clutter is a big no. Natural light. You need to see natural light in a house. If a house is dark, we're in trouble to try and get really good feng shui. We're just talking about it. Some houses, if they're south facing, it's just trouble to get the natural light in. So we really want to make sure natural light should. If you're going to renovate or buy a house or look at renting something, make sure it has good natural light.
It's funny, isn't it? Because like I've lived in places before where like our old apartment, I had my home office set up and I never worked on my laptop in there, but it was in a like dark pockety corner of the apartment. I would always take my laptop to the kitchen. Yeah. It's interesting that was just like your body's natural response to being like the feng shui is not working in here. The lighting is not working in here. Also my back was to the door, which I believe isn't great. Yeah.
Which we all know. We've been to that restaurant where you get stuck with the seat facing the front door.
Yeah.
You just can't wait to get out of there.
Yeah, it's so true.
Someone
could come up behind you and
when I was studying real estate, I used to work for Telstra and we were all in those little pig pen offices. And you knew whoever had the seat near the door, no one lasted.
Really?
Like the revolving seat because you couldn't get comfy. You just didn't know what was going on behind you all the time.
It's the worst feeling, isn't it? You can't focus. You just feel irritated. Like it's awful.
So you always want to have, which I see, it's a bit of a fashion thing at the moment, to have your desk facing the wall, and having, your vision board on the wall and you're sitting there looking at it. That is not good. We want our office, if you think of like the Oval Office is good. You want to be facing the door with your back against the wall so you can see who's coming into you.
What about my desk here that has like as you can see, we've got chairs on both sides because I rotate depending on the light, but it's in front of a window. So originally it was back to the window.
But it feels you can see who's coming in here with the way that your desk is placed. So it's not an issue. It's like if you had your desk placed here and your back was there, that would feel wrong.
When you did a walkthrough of my house before, was there any other things that like stood out to you initially that you're like, oh, that's not great, or that's great?
No, you've got the big glass wall of glass in the back, but you've got the shears to cover it. So if you feel like you want to, feel a bit more cozy, comfort, you can close it, but it's very private. No one's looking into your house anywhere. So all those things are really good. And you know yourself, if you're happy to come home and it feels good, you're on the right track.
Totally. Yeah. So we've got your tick of approval until you do our formulations.
I get invited to people's houses to dinner parties all the time, and then halfway through dinner they're like, so what about my feng shui? I'm like, I don't know, I'm going to do your chart, but I'm enjoying dinner, thanks.
They're trying to cheat their way in, like, you can book a consultation, thanks.
But I don't know unless you look at someone's chart. You just
totally.
It's like going to the doctor and saying, so tell me all about what's my blood results. Well,
yeah, makes so much sense. We can't cheat anything in life. Got to do it properly.
That's right. I know. Yeah.
Have you seen any interior design trends that clash or go against feng shui principles?
Look, I love to see if you have a big open space, I love to see a console behind a sofa. You never want to walk into someone's front door and look down the hallway and there's the back of a sofa sitting there. It's just because it's that same thing of not being able to sit and get comfortable because there's nothing supporting behind the sofa. So we go back to feng shui. It's that having something behind you to support you, like that mountain.
Makes the same so thing with the much sofa. Sense.
So if you happen to have that design in your home where the sofa sitting in the middle of nowhere, put a console behind it.
Well, I guess we're going to have to do that.
But I don't think you had enough. I think yours was okay. Yours had this kitchen bench close enough, I think.
Oh, do you think?
I think so,
okay. And there's about like a 2-3 metre
gap. So as long if you often I see these houses, like I did a post on the other day, I actually jumped on Sanctuary Lakes and looked on realestate.com to see, because that's that energy, the big house that's got the big long hallway and there's a sofa sitting out in the middle of nowhere. That's the problem.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That's a really good tip.
Yeah.
I like that one.
And ceiling beams, exposed ceiling beams are very on trend at the moment. I don't have an issue with them as long as they're painted the same color as the ceiling, because in Feng Shui we believe they are what we call poison arrows. So it's like the energy's cutting.
So
people
it cuts
who
through the lines.
and it can cause health issues. Yeah.
Wow.
So
because there's such that design trend of like, you know, the timber, wooden planks above. And I think it looks amazing.
It does look beautiful.
But
But I've had a number of clients who have had that situation in their homes, especially in their bedrooms, and they've had knee issues where you can see where it cuts.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Because I love looking at the body as like a holistic picture, and now being like, okay, your environment can have this much impact. Like,
yeah.
phenomenal.
And you think we spend more time at home than anywhere else. You know, we sleep at home. So if our bedroom is, you know, in not optimal energy, then health issues occur. Yeah.
Do you have any of your own daily like non-negotiables when it comes to your own space? Obviously, you said you like to keep it very clean as much as possible. You've got 2 young kids, so I'm sure they test you a little bit.
Yeah, they know. We have lots of baskets, rattan baskets. They know all the toys have to go back in there before they go to bed or before they go to the next thing. Everything gets put away. But I think making your bed is a big one.
Yep.
Opening the blinds, obviously, if weather permits, opening the windows, fresh air is key. Making sure the dishes aren't left for when you get home from work at the end of the day. Dishes will go in the dishwasher or get done before you leave the house. Just having order, and you come home and you're on top of things. There's nothing worse when you get home at the end of the day, you're exhausted. You've got to do dinner and the house looks like a bomb's hit it.
Totally.
So you can't get in
It's
front.
the same going to bed. Like I hate leaving dirty dishes because I don't want to wake up to it. And Sean's a morning person. He's like, it's fine. I'll finish them off in the morning.
No.
I'm like, but I hate like waking up and seeing clutter. Like I just feel like it sets my day up for, I just don't feel as like clear-headed and clean, you know?
Yeah, you're starting backwards.
Yeah.
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 So I think that's really key. Look at your coffee table as well, because your coffee table shouldn't have – coffee table is another one that represents opportunities. So ideally you should have a beautiful bunch of flowers on your coffee table. Don't have Vogue magazine from 2003 sitting there. And tattered. You know, people leave so much shit on their coffee tables.
Yeah.
Look at it as a bit of a temple. It should be something – it should be well presented.
Love that.
Yeah.
There are so many good tips in this episode. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks, Tess. Thank you.
I love to end my episodes by asking our guests to leave a little verbal entry in the Tess Talks diary. So this is literally just like one lasting piece of like advice that you have. Do you have like, you've shared so many pearls of wisdom with us. Do you have like one lasting like message or point you'd like to leave behind with listeners?
Clutter. You can't have good feng shui if you have clutter. That is the key. If you live like Miss Piggy, don't bother calling me because I can't fix it.
Love it. I think we can all take that on board to some degree, especially me, Sean will say. Thanks so much, Kelly.
Thank you. Thanks, Tess.
Thanks so much for listening. If you loved the episode, please subscribe, rate, and review. It honestly means so much and helps to keep these conversations going. And I'd love to connect with you. You can message me on Instagram or TikTok, and I've left all the details from the episode in the show notes below. I'll see you next week.